This week, you'll learn about campaign design when viewed through the eyes of customers. By completing an evaluation of a competitor's online marketing or social media piece, you're going to learn how to understand the importance of sharing a unique value proposition that is clearly communicated and addresses the needs of the market. You'll also critique a marketing campaign for a competitor or a business that offers a like solution to the one that you have or want to create. Our objectives this week include the following: defining customer needs to align customer outreach methods and messages with identified behaviors, interests, and attitudes. Understanding the importance of channel selection in creating a trusted brand. Responding to evolving customer needs using personal, digital, social, and mobile methods and channels. And finally, identifying the right marketing mix to attract customers and prospects. With an overwhelming and extensive assortment of options for communicating your message to customers, how do you decide which ones are the right options to help you succeed? Well, it all goes back to the basics. How do your customers and prospects find out about the solution that you offer? Where are they looking? This is the key to determining where to allocate your marketing resources, such as time and money. In this week's session, we focus on the basics of traditional as well as online, social media, and mobile marketing as ways to reach customers, prospects, partners, and even employees. Some of these will be right for you and others simply will not work. Nonetheless, it's important to be aware of them to make informed decisions as you create your marketing roadmap. Knowing what marketing techniques will work best for you begins with understanding your customers. Who are they and what do they care about? Some companies are relatively easy to sell to. There's one person who has the buying power and you simply need to focus on what they need. However, other companies are more complicated. There may be layers of individuals in the organization, and you might need to start with the person who's the end user of your product. Ultimately, you have to determine if that person has the purchasing power or if you also need to market your product and your benefits to others. Ensuring that you have a strong and positive first impression during your initial encounter with a prospect can make or break your opportunity to impress this person. Whatever material, print or online, you determine is needed, make sure it's professional and the message is clearly on target. This begins with understanding your audience and relying on customer research to address needs and values. If you have several different audiences and your message is different for each, don't try to communicate with all of them using the same material or marketing campaign. It will fail. The message has to match the audience in order to succeed in any sales effort. One critical aspect of all marketing efforts is your call to action. Don't just send prospects information without giving up some type of response or connection mechanism. That could be a reply card or a website link that they can use to request more information about your product or service, or a direct link to click on while visiting your website to get on your mailing list or receive your newsletter. Without this, you won't be able to measure the success of your campaign, and you'll be missing the opportunity to develop a relationship with that prospect or customer. Basically, there are three methods for reaching your audience: traditional, in-person, and virtual. Of course, these can and should be integrated and connected to each other. The best marketing campaigns have a variety of outreach methods that work in harmony. For example, you might send out a postcard that has a link to your website for more information, which might lead to an in-person visit from a company representative. Let's begin by looking at traditional or old school marketing. In very simple terms, when we say old school, we're referring to the use of techniques that have been around for many years. These include paper-based methods like brochures, fact sheets, direct mail. Basically, things you can actually touch. Included in this category is TV as well as radio advertising. You obviously can't touch them, but they aren't interactive experiences that you can readily engage with, and shouting at your TV doesn't count. In next week's session, we'll spend more time talking about in-person communication of your value proposition. For now, we'll continue our dialogue about marketing tools by exploring the third outreach method, virtual connections, such as social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, web, email, mobile marketing, as well as search engine optimization, or SEO. Sometimes businesses try to use virtual methods because they're concerned that they'll be seen as old-fashioned and risk losing an opportunity to communicate their value because their competitors are already using these tools. However, when these new tools are deployed to reach an audience that doesn't use them, it is potentially a recipe for disaster. Think about creating a Facebook campaign to 70-year-olds. Sure, there are many older adults who use online tools to make decisions, but their preferred method of learning about products they want to buy is still more likely to be from friends and family. Therefore, the campaign would likely not provide you a solid return on your investment. On the other hand, companies might avoid using these tools because they simply don't understand how they work and may believe falsely that only 20-year-olds are online using them, and that's not their market. Keep in mind the average age of social media users on platforms such as Facebook and Twitter is steadily growing older. According to the Pew Research Center, more than half of Americans aged 50 or older report getting news on social media sites. That's 10 percentage points higher than the 45% who said so just in 2016. Those under 50, meanwhile, remain more likely than their elders to get news from these sites, 78%. That's unchanged from 2016. However, while growth amongst the older population is strong, it's still not as popular with baby boomers as it is with millennials. This is a moving target, and it's going to continue to change and evolve. The key point here is that it's still important to understand which tactics resonate best with your specific target market. In addition, the use of social media varies significantly by country. For both of these reasons, it's important to understand your market, how they engage online, and how they use virtual tools to find news and information about products and services. You must understand where your customers are and where your website traffic is coming from. Do customers get to your site via search engines? Or do they go directly to your website? Perhaps they get to you through referring websites or keywords or advertising campaigns that you're running. If you're not running a tool like Google Analytics on your website, I highly encourage you to do so. Not only is it free, but it's one of the rare free items that's worth way more than what you pay for. It's relatively simple to understand and set up, even for non-techies, and can provide you with invaluable data about who's visiting your site and how they're finding you. So, how do you decide the best marketing tools to use? Let's look at the questions you need to be able to answer with confidence, as well as a few research facts, in order to decide which tools to use now and when you need to explore alternatives because your customers' buying habits have evolved. First, where do your customers find out about your products or services now? And is that evolving? When are your customers looking for the products and services that you provide? Why do your customers buy from you now? And do they also consider purchases from your competitors? How do you deliver your products and services to them? Does it align with how you communicate with them? And finally, can you measure results from your efforts? At the end of the day, it's always about ROI, return on investment. Remember that an investment in marketing tools should not be thought of in monetary terms alone, but also needs to be measured in time invested, especially given how scarce a resource this is for almost all entrepreneurs. If you cannot justify your time and effort, then don't do it, even if your competitors are.